So far, so good. It's been a good start. You know, it was just the way it worked out that those balls went to him in the pass game, and boy, he's really done a great job with that over the last couple of years. Just his role in the passing game and his ability to make some big plays. I think back to last year in the Giant game, you know, which he made a big play at the end of the game there on a similar type play. So he's doing well. He's doing a good job for us.
What have you come to expect out of a Wade Phillips defense, and how has he sort of put his imprint on this team so far?
They're good. I mean, they've got some good players, and they play well as a unit. I think that we've gone against Coach Phillips' defense, you know, not with the Rams other than practice last year, but over the years, and they're very, very disciplined. They do a good job. They play their scheme very well. And, you know, the new additions that he's gotten in there, I guess Talib really wasn't since he was in the Denver system, but Peters, they've done a good job of fitting in. They play hard. They're a good team.
Liz, how much does that familiarity help with Wade and the fact that you went against Tags, who's a disciple of Phillips, every day in practice? Does that familiarity help?
Well, yeah, it helps. It does help because you understand what they're trying to do, but it kind of also hurts you because they know what you do and they know how you adjust to what they do. So it's, you know, it's a constant chess match, for I guess lack of a better word. But you know, when you play a team that's not in your division or that you haven't really faced, like I said, luckily we've played them in practice last year. We went against them and had them in the preseason. It would be difficult if you were just coming in and, you know, the third game of the season when they've got 2 games this year with a bunch of different personnel than what it was last year. They're a little bit different. It would be pretty difficult. So, you know, that is a good thing from the standpoint of just having gone against that style of defense.
Does either side have an edge when you're talking about that familiarity? Would it benefit the offense more? Would it benefit the defense more?
You know what? I honestly think you could flip a coin on that question. You know, it depends. If we happen to hit a play, I would say, oh yeah, it helped. If they hit us for one, then they would say, yeah, it helped them. So I think that's when you're playing with guys at this level, especially some of the talent that's on the field. You know, the margins are so tight, it can go either way. He's an outstanding coach. Coach Phillips is a great coach, and those players play really well. So it's a tough challenge.
Seems like most of the elite pass rushers in this league come off the edge. This team's a little different that way with the interior guys. How big of a challenge is that, and how much do you have to sort of adjust blocking schemes to combat that?
Well, I think when you say elite pass rushers, it doesn't matter where they're coming from. You know, they're a problem, and these guys are a problem. They're very good. They very good technique, very explosive. So you know, you have to try to account for that. But just like we're trying to do that, they're trying to do that. They're putting the backer in the gap, trying to get you to single up on your blocks. So you know, there are always ways. It's give and take. You know, they're going to win some, and hopefully we can win some as well. But they're outstanding rushers and really tremendous players.
What did you see in the second half last week that you want to work on?
Well, just about everything, I guess. You know what? It really came down to we didn't get going. We had opportunities, and we missed a play here or a play there, and it seemed like it was one in every one of those series. I think it was 3 series in a row where we didn't get going. And, you know, if we just made one of those plays, if we stayed on the block a half second longer, if we'd you know, used the correct technique, and then I think we'd have been back into that mode of the way we were playing in the first half. And, you know, it's a tough lesson because we were playing so well in the first half, and you're disappointed that we didn't do better in the second half. But, you know, that's something that we can learn from.
How pleased have you been with the rotation of your running backs? Because Austin averaged about 7 yards a carry against Buffalo.
The first part, what did you say?
How pleased have you been with the rotation of your running backs?
Well, obviously they've been very effective, so it's been a tremendous help for us, just because it opens up other things in other parts of your game. You know, the play action game, it helps. I mean, we had some plays in that game because of the play to Virgil. A couple of those plays to Virgil early were because of play action, because we had been effective running the football. And when you got a guy like Austin that can do a couple of different things, and he's a great complement to Melvin, it helps you. So, you know, the biggest challenge you face with that situation is how do you get them enough carries?
Are you actively looking for more ways to get Austin into the game plan?
You know what? I think every week is different. We've got a good group of wide receivers. You know, Virgil had a good game. The tight ends are coming on. We've got Antonio. I think a lot of it depends on, you know, who we're playing and what we're trying to match up and attack them with. So there are going to be weeks where there's going to be more about the backs. It's going to be weeks where it's more about the receivers. If you, I know you're probably not familiar with it, but if you go back to the Dallas game last year on Thursday night, you know, it was all about the receivers. They had a bunch of catches in there. Hunter was in there, and he had a few. But, you know, this past game, just the way it went, the backs were more involved. So, you know, we really like where Austin is and what he's doing, but there's no guarantee that it's going to be that same way every week.
Receptions for running backs just across the league is like through the first 2 weeks. Any reason why do you think that is? Just how defenses are responding? Or?
You know what? I think maybe, you know, and once again, I'm not an authority on this, but I would say that because it's early in the season, you know, a lot of times people are still filling each other out, and a lot of times if the first read's not there, then it's a good thing to be able to go to a back if you've got one that can extend the play or make some of the plays that they can do. So, you know, I think that's something that you can look at and see as it goes over the course of the year. But, you know, that doesn't diminish the fact that we're really pleased with the guys that we got and how they're performing.
Coach, what's the difference in game planning for an opponent early in the year versus, you know, week 6, week 7 when you have more tape? Given that this Rams team didn't play their stars at all preseason.
Yeah, that's where, and like I was asked just a little bit ago, that's where being a little more familiar with the scheme helps, because, you know, there's certain things that you want to look at that there's no 2018 tape of. You don't know. You know, you don't know where they're going to line these guys up or how they're going to play this coverage or, you know, how they're going to play this front. You know, you can look back at 2017 to some of the things that they've done, but they're different guys. You know, and if you look at us with, you know, with our different guys, one week we may be this way offensively because we have certain guys. The next week we may be a lot different depending on if we got a guy nicked up or we got a new player. You know, there's all those kind of wrinkles. So it's a lot more stressful when you don't have a lot of information early in the season like this. You know, you always feel by about week 4, you know, and you've got 4 games that you can get a pretty good feel for what a team does as much as you can. They can always change it up. But, you know, it's always a little bit more difficult earlier in the season.
Is this one of those weeks where you might try to get the backs a little more carries because of the pass rush and what they bring in the interior?
Well, it depends on how we're throwing it. It depends on how we're protecting. You know, these guys are pretty good against the run, too. I mean, they're, you know, you want to look at them and say they're a good pass rush team. Well, they're a pretty good team playing against the run as well. So that's, you know, I sure hope we can, you know, but you never know from week to week. I mean, I feel like we've got a good plan. We're still working on it, and it'll be exciting to see how it plays out.